Do you often feel like you haven't quite found your true self? Do you sometimes feel inauthentic, especially around other people? Do you sometimes find that something seems to take you over and you become someone you're not? Maybe you reflect on your past behavior and you think, I don't want to be like that, but you find it hard to change. Maybe when you're around people, you feel awkward, self-conscious, not fully confident to just be you. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to find your true self. Just a quick announcement, I've released a new free training, a free masterclass on how to reduce anxiety and become confident. And you can go register for that by clicking the link in the description. And it's really related to what we're talking about here, how to find your true self. The thing is, you can't really find yourself because you already are yourself. If you were able to find yourself, your self would have to be somewhere different other than where you are now, right? What finding yourself really is the falling away of the illusion of who you're not in order to reveal who you truly are. And the strange twist is, you already were that all along. It's a bit like an actor who's forgotten he's playing a part. When the actor realizes he isn't who he's acting like, he wakes up to the fact that he's always been himself. He just temporarily forgot about it. It's as if something got in and took him over, possessed his mind and took control. This, my friends, is the ego. The ego is the false self. You could say it's made up of thoughts and feelings. It's the sense of self in your thinking, the idea of yourself in your mind. But it's also more fundamental than that. It's essentially identification with form. It's forgetting that we're not separate. We take ourselves to be a limited fragment of the universe. Of course, that's how it appears to be, but the notion that we really are separate from it all is just an idea. The other thing with the ego is it doesn't really exist, in the sense that the character that that actor is playing doesn't really exist. It only exists in his mind. It's a bit like a dream that you wake up from. It's like all this time you were imagining that you were this character in this story in your mind who had all these concerns about the past and worries about the future, and you believed it all. And then you woke up and you realized that it's a story, that it's all made of thinking, memories, mental images and mental movies. Sometimes they were depressing. Sometimes they angered the hell out of you. Sometimes they were scary. Like when you're in a dream and you really believe it. It can feel challenging to be your true self when your nervous system is jacked up. When the sympathetic nervous system, the fight, flight and freeze response is chronically overactivated. Because awakening to your true self is relaxing, but it's not emotionless. On the contrary, you're wide open to emotion, you're wide open to sensations in the body, but you don't identify with them and take them to be who you are. You're able to just be with them. You wake up to the fact that you're not the character, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you retreat from the world. You still feel the character's sadness sometimes, and joy and pain. In fact, they're even more raw than before because you're not retreating your attention into your thinking mind to escape the feelings. Instead, you know yourself as the wide open, spacious awareness within which everything appears. You become aware that you're aware. It's as if awakeness awakens to itself. You zoom out from having all of your attention contracted down onto this sense of self in your thinking, and you know yourself to be much deeper than that. You're not lost in thinking all the time. You know yourself to be the aware presence that all the form is dancing within. When you think of yourself, are you the sense of self in the thinking, the character in your thoughts, or are you the one who's watching the thinking, watching the thoughts? Because there can't be two of you, right? Which one are you? When I say you, before you go to think of yourself, you might have this moment where you just realize that you're present. There's these ideas about you in your mind, and then there's this aware presence, the silent watcher. A path to revealing who you truly are is recognizing what you're not. The thinking comes and goes, but you don't go, you stay here. The feelings come and go, but you don't go, you stay here. In fact, everything you hear, see, taste, smell, and touch and feel, all your thinking, all your memories, your whole experience always fluctuates, it's transient. But you, this aware presence, this being, is always here. Always was and always will be. In fact, here, time doesn't exist. Time is an idea in the mind. You are this timeless, wide open, spacious awareness. Everything appears and unfolds within you, and ultimately you're not separate from it. So being your true self is awakening to your true self and staying as your true self. And there's a rawness to it, a tenderness to it. You open yourself up to the full range of feeling and emotion because you know yourself as deeper than them. You know yourself as ultimately undisturbable because you realize that everything that's ever unfolded within you has never harmed what you essentially are. Even the deepest pains change and morph. But the awareness that the pain appears within is unstained. Your essential self, this aware spaciousness, remains undisturbed. And when you remain as your true self, natural confidence and authenticity arises because you're surrendered, you're allowing the next action to just flow in without believing you're this character in the mind who needs to worry about everything and control everything all the time. You stop talking to yourself in your head all the time. You open yourself up to rawness and vulnerability. You know that underneath anger is sadness, and underneath sadness is peace, so your body begins to process its emotions. And you know that feelings come and go, but you remain. You don't disappear into the concepts in your mind about other people all the time. You're able to be fully present with people instead of talking to yourself in your head over the top of what they're saying or thinking about their past all the time. When you remain as yourself around others, by kind of like a process of osmosis, that energy can be transferred to them and allow them to be more of themselves. You can reclaim consciousness for the aliveness of life. You allow in wonder and compassion and kindness and an alert, present response to things. And when there's joy, there's full-on joy. And when there's rawness, there's full-on rawness. But you watch it all knowing yourself as also beyond it all. So that concludes the video. Don't forget to watch my free masterclass by clicking the link in the description. If you want to book a call with me for one-on-one coaching, you can go to speaktoalex.com. Peace.